Tonight's story is called Mystery Mansion. Dear reader, this book is a puzzle, a hide-and-seek game, and every new page is a challenge to tame. There are letters to watch for that spell out a clue about what I've planned for my nephew and you. Be looking for frogs and my wild butterflies, some lizards and snakes, and birds with bright eyes. Mice, bats, and fish are everywhere too, and 3 magic creatures are waiting for you. Check the book's cover, the front and the back. Most things are well hidden, so try to keep track. Take a pencil and paper and carefully look. Make a list of the things that you find in this book. My list's at the end. Take yours and compare. If the two don't agree, there's no need to despair. Look again at these pages, and as you go through, you'll see, if you're careful, my numbers are true. So this is a good book to check out later and see if you can find all of the hidden pictures. Tommy always liked to check the mail, but today was special. He thought there might be some cards for him among the magazines and bills. A pale yellow envelope caught his eye, so he opened it first. Dear Tommy, I finally returned from extended vacation with so much to tell my much-loved relation. On the trip I collected my own little zoo. I chose all the creatures especially for you. Come for a visit. Yip yippee yahoo! I can't wait to see you, my favorite nephew, Aunt Jean. Tommy was so excited when he read his aunt's note that he didn't notice any of the animals around him. But you can see them, can't you? So I see some fish and birds and bats. You'll have to check the book out and see if you can find everything. At Jeannie's mansion was only a few blocks away. When he reached the front gates and peered through them, Tommy thought to himself that the house looked different from the last time he'd seen it. The sound of something slithering through the grass distracted him, but then he noticed a note stuck to the gate. Early or late, it's all the same. It makes no difference. I'm glad that you came. Open the gate, come up to the house. I am the cheese, you are the mouse. If Tommy hadn't been in such a hurry to find his aunt, he might have noticed all the bats and birds, butterflies and lizards, snakes and mice, frogs and fish that were right nearby. Keep your eyes open. There are creatures hiding everywhere in this book. How many can you count? Some people might have been frightened by the old house with the creaky towers and dark windows that seemed to watch for the uninvited, but Tommy wasn't the least bit scared. He knew the mansion was just a little different, in the same way his Aunt Jeannie was, well, just a little different. When he reached the giant front door, he found another note. Don't bother knocking, just come right in. Find the next note, and your tour will begin. Tommy thought it was a little mysterious that Aunt Jeannie was nowhere to be found. After all, he had come to see her. And where were the creatures that had been mentioned in her first note? Just inside the door, another note dangled from a string. You don't need me to lead you around. Follow my notes, and what's lost will be found. Explore every corner of my happy home. There's something of interest wherever you roam. One thing to remember as you wander about, the kitchen's forbidden. You have to keep out. What's so special about the kitchen, Tommy wondered. What could be in there? Looks like Aunt Jeannie's hiding around in the book, too. Tommy found another note tacked to the entrance of the living room. Aunt Jeannie must have left them everywhere, he thought as he pulled down the note and read it. I'm happy you're here on this special day. Go into the gallery and don't lose your way. Tommy gazed at the pictures that covered the walls of the gallery. Then he noticed a beautiful parrot with a note in its beak. Ponder my pictures, I think you'll agree. The more that you look, the more you will see. The parlor is next, if you've finished up here. A challenge awaits you. There's no need to fear. Tommy took one last look at the paintings and then walked into the parlor. In the center of the empty room, he found a strange stack of objects. The note popped up against them said, The secret you see to winning this game is to write the first letter of each object's name. You'll know why you've come if you juggle this jumble. Try different spellings, take care not to fumble. When you've finished your task and the answer is found, move along to the greenhouse and look all around. After he unscrambled the letters, Tommy felt more excited than ever. He raced down the hall to the greenhouse. There was a net hanging from the doorknob, and inside the net was a note. Tommy read it and then entered the steamy room, which was filled with exotic plants and clouds of butterflies. They're so hard to catch, they like to be free. The trick is to find the one with the key. You'll need the key to unlock the door that leads to the garden. There's more to explore. Tommy turned the key in the lock and stepped out into the garden. A path bordered by thick bushes led to a fish pond. On the first bush, Tommy spotted a note stuck to a thorn. He carefully pulled it free. The note puzzled him. He looked all around, but since he didn't see anything out of the ordinary, he kept walking. It's time to reflect on this pretty scene. Look up and then down to see what I mean. As Tommy continued to wander around the peculiar garden, he began to feel a little hungry. Was he ever going to find his Aunt Jeanie? Just then he saw another note tucked between the leaves of an oddly shaped hedge. None but the clever can defeat my maze. This is the entrance on which you gaze. Tommy entered the maze and began to follow the winding path. He hadn't gone far when he heard something crinkle under his feet. Half hidden by pebbles was another note. Round and round's the way to go. Find the center and Cupid's bow. After many wrong turns, switchbacks, and dead ends, Tommy began to think he would never get to the center of the maze. At last he came to an opening in the hedge and saw the statue of Cupid. It was pushed aside to reveal the entrance to a tunnel. Tommy climbed up on the pedestal to reach the note on Cupid's arrow. It's dark in there, but go down the hole. Follow the tunnel as if you're a mole. Don't be discouraged, you're almost done. A little more work, the surprise will be fun. The damp, spooky tunnel seemed to go on forever. Something crept across the floor, and bats flapped all around. Flickering candlelight was all that helped guide Tommy as he tiptoed along. At the very end of the tunnel, he came upon two small doors. A note was taped to one of them. Behind these doors my mysteries hide. Are you brave enough? Only you can decide. Should you open the doors and come on through, or retrace your steps? It's all up to you. Happy birthday. Dear reader, now that you've reached the end of this book, have you found everything there was to find? And I'll let you read the rest of this message when you check out the book from the library. Again, that was Mystery Mansion. Have a great night.